Okay, hello everybody. For the 7th of 7 uh, Facebook Live explorations based on Instagram posts I've made over the past couple years. So I really appreciate everyone's questions they brought in, conversations I've had offline and some online. It's really great to be a part of the development of thought and perspective that's ultimately useful in life. Because anytime you entertain an idea, first thing is it making your life better, or is it going to make your life better? Because sometimes we're introduced to an idea or a thought or philosophy perspective, and initially we have resistance to it. And we can have resistance to things we don't want, but it doesn't mean they're not good for us. And so that's why it's really good to explore them. And it doesn't mean you have to adopt everything that you hear or everything that you read. Consider it and say, could that be valuable in my life, starting right away, or cultivating the relationship with the thought over time at some point in the future is going to bear fruit. So those are the points. So it's been wonderful the past week, conversations I've had with people, people sharing their experiences already, the results in their lives already, based on what they're implementing. So the sustainability triad I work with, the first part is insight, which is most of this. The second part is implementation. So what are you doing with the new knowledge? And the third part is the integration part. And the integration is really having something be part of your habits without having to think so hard about doing it. Obviously in the coaching work that we do, we can change the order of those. You can make something a part of your habits before you have a lot of insight about them. And that's a really beautiful thing. And even start implementing changing your behaviors when you don't even know really why you're doing it, but you're kind of following a gut instinct or intuition or feel or idea, whatever it might be. So those three, so insight, implementation, and integration, don't have to happen in that order. For most of us, they do. However, we get to hijack the system a little bit. Anyway, that's one angle on that, and I want to touch on it because what the limitation of that sequence, if it goes in that order, assumes that we must know something new fully. Our brain must understand and know before it does anything with it. And that's where we get stuck in, I need to know more information. I need to learn more. I need to understand more before I can slow down momentum in my life or create momentum somewhere else in my life. And that simply doesn't have to be the case. You only need to know whatever it is you need to know to slow down or speed up your momentum. That's all. Instead of needing to jam so much more information, I need to read another book or another program or another coaching session or another healing session or whatever it is. We don't always need to do that. Okay, so on to today's point, which was a post I made on Instagram on April 11th of this year, and it's specifically related to affirmations. And I received a question before I posted it about Matt, why aren't my affirmations working? And it's a great question, and it's all over. You'll find it. It's a very common point. And movies have come out, documentaries have come out, spiritual teachers, coaches, across the space for decades. Well, really, many, many hundreds, depending on your philosophy, thousands of years, about the importance of visualization, affirmation, positive self-talk, projecting desires into the future, pulling the future into us, all these kinds of things. And so my response to this person, and I posted just a short part of it on Instagram, was pay more attention. So your mind pays more attention to what you do than what you say. So your mind's paying more attention to what you do than what you say. And there's a story that it's creating around what it is you're doing and or saying. And that's where the driver is. So if you're indeed maybe doing the right things, but there's a story around it that's negative or slowing you down, you'll get somewhere, but maybe not at a speed that you might prefer. I'll give a concrete example. So this person sent me the note around being in a new relationship. Okay, wanted to find a new partner. And, he was saying, I have, the perfect ideal in my mind. I see this happening. I affirm that it's true in the present moment. I said, I'm doing everything right around all of that. Okay, great. So tell me the kinds of people that you're meeting, and he wasn't meeting anybody. Well, how's that going to work? We still live here. You can say all the affirmations you want, but if you don't actually go out and meet somebody or do something different, then how can life try to bring you that? Unless you're waiting for maybe the UPS or FedEx driver to be the person that you want to meet and be in a relationship, which is possible. I've heard of that happening, which is why I use it as an example. But ultimately, your behavior, your actions need to mirror, at least in some meaningful way, the affirmation that you keep trying to tell yourself that you want to believe. So that goes to the second part, which is the story about what you're saying and or doing. Do you believe a portion of it can be true? What you're saying, can it be true? If you say, no, there's no chance, well, what do you think? How do you think your actions are going to mirror that? You're going to be spot on. You're not going to believe it anyway. So you're like, this is a waste of my energy. I'll say it. I'll go through the motions to make me think that make me feel better about pretending I want it. Well, I don't really believe it's possible anyway. And so your behavior doesn't match it at all. Now, it's possible over a period of time, you might begin to believe some of the truth around it. And as soon as you do that, you'll feel different about the sentence. You'll feel different about then how you're behaving around your day with that idea that it's possible. So this person's desire for a relationship. So what he did was then, okay, fine. I'm going to change a little bit of my behavior. And all he had to do was start talking to people in general. Not going up and trying to make a conversation for it to go anywhere. I'm talking anyone at the grocery store, the checkout person. Just saying, hey, how's your day? Instead of just going blindly through the process of checking out and paying for his groceries. So even just the process of engaging with another person. And what that did was it changed how he felt about the behavior. Began to feel more comfortable talking with new people. You get more comfortable talking with new people, the chances of you meeting more people and having them know who you are, and then perhaps from there building a relationship, now you have something you can work on. So in that case, it wasn't the affirmation not working or the affirmation being the wrong wording. Sometimes those can play, but that's not this case. Frequently, that's not the case. It's how you're feeling about what you're saying, how you're feeling about what you're doing, and the story around all of that, is that supporting the outcome. So when the story around your behavior, when the story around the words match in a sense where it inspires you, it excites you, at least gets you moving differently, different conversations, meeting different people, maybe different creative ideas, even outside of the relationship dynamic. You can say starting a new business or changing the way you feel about your physical health. Lose 20 pounds, gain 20 pounds, improve your performance, whatever it is. Release injuries. If the affirmation is, I feel so happy and grateful now that I've lost 20 pounds. Right? It's one example of affirmations that are frequent. And for many of us, it's like, well, I'm supposed to state an affirmation in the present moment. But when there's a strong disconnect with that, and the story underneath is, but I'm not, but I haven't, but it's his. If all of that is happening at the same time, it's going to take a longer for that statement to begin to take hold. So instead you can say, I'm in the process of learning how and changing my behaviors so that I can lose 20 pounds. It's easier to be in the process. It's easier to be on the path of something than to arrive somewhere or pretending that you've arrived somewhere when you look at this day right now and from 5 seconds ago and now, your physical body hasn't changed. Okay, well, that's reasonable. So I'm in the process of, or I'm excited to learn, or I feel happy that I am going to the gym, or I'm going for that walk, or I'm so happy and grateful that I didn't choose this second portion. Affirmations can still relate to past behaviors. It's not all future. And this is another thing that perhaps we'll get into another time in a video or an article or something. Is you can be grateful as an affirmation of something that you've done, not just what you're going to do or what you want to happen in the future. Because when you change your relationship with the past, your relationship with the future can also change because your present moment state changes. Okay. That's going into a little bit more than what I'd planned for today, but that's great. So if anyone has any questions about that, statements, or resources online that other people might find useful, please, by all means, comment below, share them. The more people that have resources that they know how to use, the better. Okay. So thank you very much for your time and your energy and your focus. Thank you for your feedback. It's been fantastic. I'm very inspired by everybody and their meaningful engagement with life. And this is a big part of what I frequently talk about, is you can live life sort of passively, here and there engage. But meaningful engagement says, you say to your life saying, I am going to be a part of what it is that I create in my life. And therefore, I'm also going to take responsibility for what I have, what I'm creating, what I've done, the relationships I have, in all, the great and the not so great. Because you've heard me say before, the more you own, the more you can change. The more you have responsibility for, the more you can affect change in. And this is an important part of getting a grasp of what's going on in life. Okay. Still, you can go through my Instagram feed. Just because these 7 videos were up, we did 7 of 7 today, it doesn't mean that if you want me to go over anything in particular, I'm not going to do that. By all means, let me know. If there's anything on there that you see, if anything on my Facebook page, or you came across an article, or you came across an idea, you read a book, or you read my book, or whatever it is, and you say, I'd like to hear his thoughts on that, just send me a note. I'm very happy to do that. If you want to get any email newsletters, I send them email newsletters out periodically, or Facebook page stuff, whatever it is, you know where to reach me. You can find me here by commenting below, by sending me a direct message on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever it is. Okay, lots of respect for you for taking the time to get a handle on what it is you're experiencing in your life, whether you want to resolve the past, resolve your feelings about the future, or create something new in your life. It all can be done. And when you use strategy based on principles, then it can be done in a long-term easier way, but also a short-term easier way, because you'll be able to navigate your emotions along the way. Okay, great. We will talk soon. Thank you very much again for your engagement, and have a fantastic day.